What did you do the last time you craved a big, brothy bowl of Slurpee noodles? Hey, if you didn't get behind the steering wheel, drive out to International City, figure out which of that maze of restaurants to pick from, and then sit there and decode a menu that is entirely in Mandarin. If you didn't do any of those things, well, after this episode of Ditch the Silver, you, my adventurous foodie friend, are going to do exactly that. Because on this show, we're all about going off the radar. We leave behind the glitz, the glam. Heck, let's cancel the cutlery, roll up our sleeves, and dig right in. And on this episode, we are going to dig into that maze of Chinatown, the de facto Chinatown of Dubai International City. And we're going to do it with none other than a long-time Chinese friend of mine, someone who we consider at Frying Pan Adventures, where we do food tours all over the city. She is our Chinese culinary coach, none other than Shini Wei. Shini, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Ava.
It is so fantastic to have you here. And, for the folks who are listening, it probably sounds like this is her full-time job, just sitting and consulting us on food. But that is not the case, right? You are a marketing wizard by day. You are a senior program manager at SY Partners, and you clearly do a lot of wheeling and dealing in the world of brands. So that is your day job. But by night, right, this lady who is born and raised in Shanghai transforms into a Chinese culinary superhero. So that is what you are to me. And today what we are going to do is we're going to kind of do exactly what you have done for me in the past. We're going to rescue people who are kind of just thrown into International City, don't know where to go, and you're going to be the one answering that distress call. So let's jump right into it. We just like airlift somebody in the middle of International City, totally clueless, obviously not a Chinese person. So think of myself, right? I don't know where to go, and there are, just for people who've not been into International City, it really is a jungle out there. You can't really make out even which ones are the restaurants versus not. There's a lot of different clusters, A through God knows what, and also there are different provinces of China that are represented across the restaurants. So I'm right in the middle of International City. Give me my plan of attack.
So first of all, if you have a Chinese friend like me, call them when you're in International City. That's your first cue. But any Chinese you know in your life, because everyone is more or less happy to promote their home cuisine and flavor.
Right.
If you don't know any Chinese, don't worry. You can also join a well-curated tour, which bring you to 5, 6 different restaurants to start with. So you can start figuring out what's your preferred flavors and textures before you decide how to anchor your further exploration in the jungle. And third, if you're brave and adventurous enough, you can go blind tasting and enter these small restaurants. Thanks to the AI technology, you can use Google Translate to look at menu, but more practically, you can ask the restaurant owners or the waiters, what are the chef specials or what are the special dishes of the restaurants?
I love that you said Google Translate, because there was a time, I don't know if you remember, but I actually sent you a screenshot of Google Translate. It had translated a dish into curdled blood, which was not on my list of things to order. All right, so what I want us to talk about is, the fact that we mentioned you can have the best noodle dishes in International City. Give me one unique noodle dish to try.
So, God, where do we start? Because China has 8 major cuisines. But the one noodle I always go back to is the biang biang noodle. It's also called the belt noodle. So biang is one of the most complex characters in Chinese, which is made up. It has probably dozens of variations. But what essentially it means is when you smash the dough on a counter, biang is the sound of it. So it's very simple, very humble noodle dish, very chewy belt. With chili oil topping on it.
I love that you mentioned chili oil, because, that is essentially my crack sauce. Look, we haven't shared the name of the place for a reason. Let's hang on to that suspense, because that is exactly what we're going to do the next time in International City. I know we haven't discussed this, but the next episode, you and I are going to go into International City, do this the right way, go to the Biang Biang restaurant. So guys, you want to subscribe to Ditch the Silver, because on the next episode, we're going to be in International City.
Very excited, tiny bit scared.
It will be life-changing, I think.
Energy is everything today. We all in this room. Energy, we attract each other. It's not a coincidence, it's a destiny.
Not me as a business owner, but just my time to grow, and that's why I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
I do want to learn more skills in terms of public speaking. Everybody has something and you can pick yourself up and keep going.
And we have all that it takes. You just have to tap here and here.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and cue.
They say that all the world's a stage.
And I'm just curious as to what goes on in the air.
45 seconds.
On Air Express!
They say that all the world is a stage. And today, on Cause for Applause, we're asking the question, can theatre really make an impact beyond entertainment? Joining me today, I'm really excited to have theatre practitioner, seasoned performer, Josie Campbell. Josie, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for asking me. Lovely to be here.
Well, you've obviously come from London quite recently over here. In London, we know there is a bustling theatre scene. It's very usual for us to have theatre as part of our lives growing up. Now here, the theatre scene's a bit more fledgling. It's new, it's absolutely really exciting, but we've a long way to go. Now, in your work, you believe in using theatre techniques beyond entertainment, in the corporate world and beyond. Do you find that your techniques and your methods have universal relevancy?
Absolutely, absolutely. But I have to hide them in the corporate world. I think we had this discussion. It's a little bit like hiding carrots in a bolognese sauce. The goodness is underneath, because I think people in the corporate world aren't so used to theatre people coming in and doing what we do. So I have to be very careful of how I present that.
Of course. I mean, that's interesting, actually, when you say about the corporate world and about trying to hide those techniques so that people are comfortable. And I think being uncomfortable is something that we're not very good at anymore because we have so many sort of faceless ways to connect with each other. You know, we've got email, we've got voice notes, we've got AI, we've got all of these things. Do you think people are losing the ability to communicate sort of empathetically or effectively?
Here's the thing, I've really noticed this post-COVID, and as I'm going back into companies in person rather than online.
Very excited,
Yeah, sure.
tiny bit scared.
It will be life-changing, I think.
Energy is everything today. We all in this room. Energy, we attract each other. It's not a coincidence, it's a destiny.
Not me as a business owner, but just my time to grow, and that's why I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
I do want to learn more skills in terms of public speaking. Everybody has something and you can pick yourself up and keep going.
And we have all that it takes. You just have to tap here and here.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and cue.
and I'm just curious as to what goes on in the ear.
45 seconds.
On Air Express.
They say that all the world's a stage. And today on Cause for Applause, we're asking the question, can theatre really make an impact outside of entertainment? And joining me on the show today, I'm absolutely thrilled, theatre practitioner, seasoned performer, Josie Campbell.
Thank you for having me. Delightful to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, you've obviously just come from London.
I
Now,
have.
there is a bustling theatre scene in London. We're very well used to growing up with theatre around us all the time. Now, the theatre scene here and the art scene is obviously new, it's fledgling, we're growing with it, we're definitely moving in the right direction. Do you find that your methods of using theatre technique outside of entertainment are globally relevant?
Yes, they are. I think, certainly in terms of culturally, I have to be careful sometimes what I use. I can't automatically turn to Shakespeare here because of the different audience, but other than that, the techniques are the same.
Wonderful, that's amazing. And actually, you've taken it into the corporate world as well, haven't you? Do you find in those settings that you have to adjust and change what you're doing so that it doesn't come across as an acting lesson?
It does. I think partly because people in the corporate world aren't used to actors and they aren't used to theatre. So you have to kind of cover it up a little bit like making a bolognese sauce for your children and hiding the peas in it.
Great.
So I have to be careful how I present it, but once people start relaxing and getting into it, the impact is unbelievable.
With all the faceless connection that we now have, you know, AI, voice notes, emails, even Zooms, you're not face to face. Do you think that people are losing the ability to connect authentically and communicate authentically?
Yes, and here's the thing. I think since COVID, it's been dramatic, if I may use that word, in terms of how people are willing to communicate. People are afraid, they're resistant, and you definitely see it. I go into companies and people with amazing job titles, head of product, head of this, head of that, and they're resistant and they're afraid to take risks in communication.
I think in a way we've forgotten how to play. And I think in the workplace, if we had that ability to be a bit more playful and take those risks, like you say, we would actually be better communicators with each other.
Yeah.
And that actually leads me nicely onto what I was thinking when I was researching this. How early do you think we should be implementing this sort of initiative? You know, where do we start? You know, making sure that we carry on that playfulness, carry on that communication in a sort of acting theatre way.
Little.
Yeah.
Little. And it's very interesting in terms of what the Royal Shakespeare Company have done with children and Shakespeare, with primary age children. They've done some research where they've taken the plays and rehearsed them on their feet. And what they've found is an increase in vocabulary, an increase in emotional literacy, an increase in the ability to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. All these communication techniques that you really need in your adult life. And I think we are in danger of losing those and resisting using those in our daily lives.
Yeah, so that theatre impact should be something that we carry right through in our curriculums in schools and then into the workplace. Because I expect when we have those better connections and communications via things like theatre and the ability to feel empathy, we're also going to have a better sense of well-being.
Oh gosh, absolutely. And it's amazing the impact you can make in a small amount of time in the workplace. And I've done some, I think, well, actually, I'll dial back a little bit because I think as actors, we're used to putting stuff in our body. And then when you do theatre techniques in the workplace and people feel it in their bodies and they go, wow, I didn't know I could behave like that and use my body in that way to influence other people. It can be really exciting watching people change.
I love hearing that. I love your passion for it. It's absolutely fantastic. Now, to sum it up, I want you to tell me, because we're really excited about some of the theatre that's happening here in the UAE. What was the last play or piece of theatre or art that you went to go and see in the UAE here that you enjoyed?
The last thing I saw in the UAE, I think, was Othello at the Junction this weekend.
Wow.
And it's Shakespeare, so of course I would go and see Othello at the weekend. But it's set in it's in a desert setting, so it's got the beautiful tradition of storytelling, which of course is part of this region attached to it. I'd highly recommend it.
That's fantastic. Josie, your passion is absolutely clear to me.
Thank
I
you.
love what you've got to say about using theatre beyond entertainment. I think that we will link all of your stuff in our bio so that people can come and
Thank
find you and
you.
follow you.
That would be
Will
lovely.
you come back again soon?
Of course. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining us today, guys. We have got to close the curtains on this conversation. We could carry on forever. Join in next week at Cause for Applause.
Very excited, tiny bit scared. It will be life-changing, I think.
Energy is everything today. We all in this room. Energy, we attract each other. It's not a coincidence, it's a destiny.
Not me as a business owner, but just my time to grow, and that's why I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
I do want to learn more skills in terms of public speaking.
Everybody has something, and you can pick yourself up and keep going.
And we have all that it takes. We just have to tap here and here.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and cue.
And I'm just curious as to what goes on in the air.
45 seconds.
On Air Express.
Welcome back to another episode with me, Henna Soni Savani. Celebrating women, supporting women, and giving them a platform is what our next guest is all about. The founder of Indian Women in Dubai, Ms. Reema Mahajan, joins me today. Reema, thank you so much for joining us. It's a complete pleasure. So let's start off with this Facebook page. Where did you think about the idea of giving people this support system in Dubai? Because a lot of us are expats. We have only just kind of moved here. For me, it's only been a couple of years. Where did you think of the idea of creating something like this?
So firstly, thank you, Henna, for having me on the show. It's my honor to be here. So Indian Women in Dubai is a COVID baby, as we say. It started a couple of years ago when I moved from London to Dubai. Wanted to make friends, wanted to find people, like-minded girls with whom I can hang around with, ask questions. And that's when the Facebook group came into action. But I think the real Indian Women in Dubai was born during COVID, because we helped women, we supported women, we were that support network where people would come to share their emotional stress, their physical stress, their financial stress, and women in the community will come forward and support each other. And that's how Indian Women in Dubai, in the real spirit that it is today, was born.
And how many members do you have in this group right now? We have to show that off.
We were blessed to see so much love and support. We've grown to more than 100,000 across platforms. From a little Facebook group, we are like, I think 67,000 and more on Facebook. We have nearly 50,000 people on Instagram. We run our own WhatsApp groups, YouTube channels, every email marketing, everything. We are there. I think we're one of the best platforms to reach out to Indian women in UAE.
You absolutely are, because when I had moved here, I joined a couple of Facebook groups, but yours was the only one that actually supported me, and only recently I used it. I was looking for a massage lady for my newborn baby. The first thing I thought of, let me just type in the search engine Massage Lady Dubai, and your group supported me so much. I got all the information that I've needed. So over the past few years, I just go to this group, and it's living proof. It's living proof. But also I see that you do business setups, you do so many more events. So do you have a team supporting you with this, or are you like one lady, many hats? How do you manage all of this?
I don't think any person can manage it alone, and we are very blessed. When Gulf News covered us last Women's Day, they said we are the Google for Indian women Dubai. So if you have a question or you have a recommendation, you go to the community and women come forward and support each other. Today, Indian Women Dubai is run by an all-women team. We have a group of 15 friends come volunteers who spend their time running the community day and night. We focus a lot more on quality, removing spam profiles, making sure the request quality is out there and running the community. And I'm so grateful to everybody who comes and supports us every day.
And I also see that you have a lot of parties.
Yes.
You have a lot of themed parties.
Yes.
And there's so many different things, like there'll be Eid, or there'll be Diwali, or there'll be Christmas. So I like that, because a lot of people come, expats, and they don't have anybody. They don't know anybody. So I love that you guys kind of just give people an opportunity to really mingle. And I think that makes people feel at home.
Yes.
And I think that's so special.
Thank you. And we are a social and a business platform, as I say. Socially, we get together at festivals, Diwali, Holi, any Indian festivals, even ladies' nights when you would just want to go hang out with your girls. And we have a business platform too, where we empower women-led businesses. So, those small businesses which need that support to take their business to the next level, we run our own network and we provide them growth and coaching tools.
And I'm sure that it's not just Indian women. I feel like a lot of other types, from all around the world. I bet they come here and also kind of get.
I think just love the support and the collaborations they get on the platform, and everybody comes forward and helps them. And I think that's what women love about the community.
Now, just to wrap up, another thing that I want to show off about you made it to Asia's top 100 women. You have been recognized by Facebook and Meta. You're not just running a successful Facebook page that supports thousands. You've also achieved so much. Just shine a bit of a light on that for us.
I think I'm very blessed to have a journey where I am doing what I really love. And after doing years in the corporate grill, I discovered that working with women is my passion. So I've kind of ardently followed it for the last 3 years since COVID happened and my life changed. And I think I'm very blessed to be recognized along the way, where people come and recognize that your work, what you are creating real impact. And that is what excites me.
You are an absolute champion in women's empowerment. We appreciate you. Everybody kind of gets so much support from you. And I think without this platform, people would really, really struggle. So thank you so much. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for taking that time out. I know you now need to film a brunch. So you are a super busy lady. That's it from me. We will see you next week. Same time, same place, just with me, Henasoni Savani. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very excited, tiny bit scared. It will be life-changing, I think.
Energy is everything today. We all in this room. Energy, we attract each other. It's not a coincidence, it's a destiny.
Not me as a business owner, but just my time to grow, and that's why I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
I do want to learn more skills in terms of public speaking.
Everybody has something, and you can pick yourself up and keep going.
And we have all that it takes. We just have to tap here and here.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and cue.
And I'm just curious as to what goes on in the air.
45 seconds.
On Air Express.
As mybetterhalf.me. I have established this company because it's all about embracing life over 40. How to embrace that second half, to make that the better half of your life. Full disclosure, I just turned 57, but I feel like I'm 32. I call that my spirit age. So my entire premise is that we need to embrace adventure and health and vitality until our last days. So I have the perfect guest today. Arva is the CEO and the founder of Frying Pan Adventures. She is essentially the street food guru of Dubai, in a city that is glitz and glamour and high-end restaurants. What Arva brings to the market is unique, it's special, and I think quite intentionally different from what we normally find in Dubai.
That's right. Thank you so much for having me on the show, Taryn.
Thank you. So essentially, very quickly, what is street food?
All right, so street food usually in most contexts means you're out on the street, there's people kind of grilling or frying up things, you're standing out on the street and eating that food. In Dubai, it's a little bit different with the regulations. So the way I interpret street food is really any place that gives you a sense of place. Like it gives you a connection to the city. You don't really get that when you're sitting up on the 100 and whatever floor of really fancy building. You could be in Paris, you could be in New York, you could be anywhere. But when you're walking the streets, you're, stepping into this tiny little place where this guy is frying up his falafels or he's grilling his kebabs, you know that smell, that sight is associated with that corner of Dera, that corner of Satwa, and that's that feeling of place. And for me, that's street food in Dubai.
All right. I mean, you're the absolutely right guest for our show, because adventure and living fully and stretching your boundaries is really what this is all about.
Yeah.
So if I went on a tour with you, what am I going to experience?
So our tours, we have really two main signature ones, and then we do a lot of limited edition experiences. Think of it as a moving culinary museum. So you are walking and eating, but it's not just eating, you're learning stories. So we don't consider ourselves as only tour guides. We think of ourselves as storytellers, as presenters. We are the people who are really bringing alive these dishes through their history, politics, etymology. So for example, we mentioned falafels. We're not just going to say here, these are the falafels, one of the best in the city, eat it. For us, it's actually not about being the best in the city. The question is, do you know where falafels are from? Do you know what the politics is behind falafels? This is why this little restaurant is special. And this is what they're going to stuff into the falafel. Let's talk about those ingredients. And guess what? You are going to take apart a khubz, the Arabic bread, and you're going to become a falafel artist at the table. It's that whole experience.
I did not realize that there was politics involved in falafel, and
There.
one more reason to take your tour. I have to be honest that most of our viewers are quite health conscious. Sometimes I'm a bit hesitant to go to restaurants where I'm worried about the oils, the level of carbs, the amount of protein, and so forth. What do you say to that?
So my mom is actually a nutritionist from she's had over 20, 30 years of experience. And I once asked her, I'm like, Mom, you've been on our tours. Can you estimate how many calories, we've consumed? And she said, honey, some things are best not counted. So, I'm going to give you the honest answer. Like when you're out on the streets, you can't be counting calories. You can't, that is really not the thought that's top of mind. I have come from a world where I've been there. I've done that. I've counted the calories. I've gone through all of that. And now I just appreciate food for what it is. When I'm out there, I enjoy it. I listen to my body. I don't eat that every single day. So the next day I might wake up and I'm like, I'm craving a salad. People don't see the moments when I'm eating a salad. I love eating salad, right? So it's all about moderation, and moderation is key, because then you really enjoy what you're having and not trying to run away from it or demonize it. I think it's just a balance of everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, of course, you do have the spices, though. The spices are sometimes undervalued I'm Canadian, and they tend to be less celebrated than they are in your culture. So there's a plus.
Yeah. I love that you brought it up because we actually have a tour that goes into the spice souk. And, the spice souk used to be the olden day pharmacy, and we play a game called Spingo, which is spicy bingo, where we get into the herbal remedies and all of the health benefits and all of that. So we do.
Okay, fantastic. And so people can find you on Instagram?
On Instagram at Frying Pan Adventures. We have a website, fryingpanadventures.com. Okay. Just Google us. We're there.
Fantastic. And you can find me on mybetterhalf.me. M-E. Thank you. Thank you for joining me.
Always a pleasure.
Okay.
Very excited, tiny bit scared. It will be life-changing, I think.
Energy is everything today. We all in this room. Energy, we attract each other. It's not a coincidence, it's a destiny.
Not me as a business owner, but just my time to grow, and that's why I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
I do want to learn more skills in terms of public speaking.
Everybody has something, and you can pick yourself up and keep going.
And we have all that it takes. You just have to tap here and here.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and cue.
It's okay, right?
And I'm just curious as to what goes on in the air.
45 seconds.
4 minutes, right?
On Air Express.
Welcome to the Secrets to Success show, guys. Today we have an amazing guest whose name is JJ, #1 magician on YouTube, where he explains how to magic. JJ, thank you for being here. You have more than 50 million views on YouTube. Your videos have been seen by more than 150 countries. Please take us on your journey and tell us in short, what are your 3 secrets to success?
Well, I think 3 is going to be challenging, right? I think there's never one thing that helps us get to the next level, but that chapter was behind me. I started the entertainment business. And, the biggest thing I think a lot of people forget, the way I was able to build this channel to the success that it became was consistency, to be able to push through those times when you don't know if it's going to work. Because in 2009, when I created a YouTube channel, there was no guide on video creation. They had a platform, you create content, let's see what happens. There was no strategy, it's just you had to go. So I think consistency is one of those things. I think resilience, to be like, I got to keep going until, like, even if it doesn't work, I'm going to make this work. And also, which is really big of what you're doing today too, like leaning into your personality. Because I think people don't want Barbie and Kens anymore. They want people who are actually who they are. And then when you give them that, they feel that across the camera and they start to fall in love with you and they start to fall in love with the brand.
Amazing, nice. So I have another question for you, which is, you have stood on many stages. Like I've read into your website, your bio, and you've stood all over the world on stages, presenting. Can you tell us what are your secrets to success when it comes to presenting, your top 3?
Speak slow.
Speak slow, okay.
Connect with the audience.
Okay.
Too many presenters make it about them. It is your audience, it is your guests at home, it is your people. You have to be asking the right questions. And the biggest thing is listening. listening to what they say, listening to what they want. Too many people want to get through the questions. Listen to your guests, listen to the audience, and it's about them and you'll win.
Yes, nice. Another question, since you're a magician, you were a magician, you started as a magician, then later switched to YouTube and went online. Can you show us your favorite magician trick, maybe?
I don't think we're going to have enough time today, right? You know, my kind of niche was always mind reading and doing stuff with people, because people have always been my passion. I think magic has this ability to connect with people all around the world. Doesn't matter countries, cultures, how much you make, sex, race, religion, it doesn't matter. It's an art form that can get through any noise. So I think for me, it's always been the joy of what is the thing that's going to make people smile.
Nice. Okay. And then I have another question, JJ. What is one thing that you want to share when it comes to the secrets to success, when it comes maybe to facing challenges? Sure, you've had those. How do you face your challenges? How do you get over them? Because I know that your journey also had many challenges over the years. And I would like to know from you, how do you overcome your challenges?
Yeah, well, I've got challenges every day. I could bring out the scroll of challenges. I think the biggest thing is people have to realize that what they're going through isn't that unique. And what I mean by that is at the end of the day, we're all going through the same problems, right? Your story isn't that unique. What you tell yourself, like the things that you tell yourself can really help you fly or help you die. So what are you telling yourself every day? I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I'm not attractive, I don't have enough money, I wasn't born in a rich family. All those stories in your head, you're telling yourself that. So what are you telling yourself every day to push through those challenges?
Nice. So self-talk is key.
Self-talk is
basically.
everything. Self-belief, man.
Yeah.
Most people wake up telling themselves they're not worthy in a certain way.
Thank you for being here, JJ. We appreciate you a lot. Guys, if you like more interviews about the secrets to success, then tune in and follow us on Instagram, secrets2 success. And make sure you also follow our amazing guest today, who goes by JJ Life on Instagram. And yeah, see you on the next episode, hopefully. Thank you.
Nice work, man. Thank you. That's good, man.
Very excited, tiny bit scared. It will be life-changing, I think.
Energy is everything today. We all in this room. Energy, we attract each other. It's not a coincidence, it's a destiny.
Not me as a business owner, but just my time to grow, and that's why I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
I do want to learn more skills in terms of public speaking.
Everybody has something, and you can pick yourself up and keep going.
And we have all that it takes. We just have to tap here and here.
Five, four, three, two, one, and cue.
And I'm just curious as to what goes on in the air.
45 seconds.
On Air Express.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here with me today. Today, this is the first episode of Sim City. Yes, you have heard it right. It's not Sin. We don't do that here. It's Sim City. It's a show going to talk about cities, sustainability, innovation, and motivation. And today, I have a really interesting guest. But before I introduce the guest, I want to share something with you. Did you know cities consume globally 3% of land, but is
it's impossible that their greenhouse gas emission is 80%. So if you know that fact, making our city sustainable is really important. And today's show, we are going to focus on climate education. I have an expert today with me. She is an award-winning author, educator, and architect. So Dr. Bhakti, thank you for being with me today.
Thanks for inviting me.
So what motivates you? Why climate education is so important to you?
You know, the pace at which everything is accelerated, the impacts of the climate change, and we see that happening around us, it's going at a really rapid pace. And if we don't educate the students who are the future of tomorrow, then it's really going to be a big problem, because youth are the agents of change. They are going to be in policy. They're going to be decision makers for everything that happens in the world tomorrow. So it's important as educators that we look at greening education. And I think that if we don't start it now, it's already going to be very late.
So that's so interesting. So how do you do it?
So most important is we look at curriculums, because that require a lot of change to prepare students for the disasters tomorrow. And it's also important that how we engage all the stakeholders. Campuses or even school buildings can be living labs where you can maybe grow your own food, study what's happening around the carbon emissions at campus, look at creating a carbon neutral campus, and engage with a lot of stakeholders, with the community, with the industry around you, and involve everyone, right from the teachers, the management, the students, the facilities, everyone to be part of this initiatives which is at the campus to be more sustainable, and also engage around with volunteering action projects. And I think that innovation and research are very important when it comes to higher education. So the role of education in the climate crisis is very crucial.
Can you share a bit about the climate action plan of Manipal University a little bit?
So the UNFCCC has a campaign of Race to Zero, in which every university can be a signatory to look at their own campus footprint. And for us, it's 2040, where we create the climate action plan to be more public and involve all the stakeholders to be part of it. And that's a great learning. So when tomorrow the students graduate, they are prepared for the climate action and also for the green jobs that are there in the future. So green skills are also one of the important aspects that I think as we educators should look for.
Thank you so much for sharing that. It's so inspiring. Can you share a little bit about what's your legacy that you're leaving behind? Because I know you have 25 years of experience on climate education. You're doing phenomenal work in the industry, especially in Dubai. So what is the legacy you're leaving behind?
So I think it's time to take action. We have a lot of things to talk about, but if we don't mobilize and engage the youth, then definitely the time is passing very fast. And according to the World Economic Forum, there are 3 impacts of climate that are going to be very adverse by even 2050. One of them is flooding, the other is heat waves, and the third is droughts. And for these impacts, we have to prepare for it right now, because if we are not resilient enough, we don't think about how do we adapt to this change, then definitely it's going to be a bigger problem.
Thank you so much for your precious time. Really appreciate it. And thank you everyone who have been with us today. If you really enjoyed what we talked about, then please follow me on Instagram, Farana Sustain. There's more to come on SimCity, focusing on sustainability, innovation, and motivation for cities.
Very excited, tiny bit scared. It will be life-changing, I think.
Energy is everything today. We all in this room. Energy, we attract each other. It's not a coincidence, it's a destiny.
Not me as a business owner, but just my time to grow, and that's why I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
I do want to learn more skills in terms of public speaking.
Everybody has something, and you can pick yourself up and keep going.
And we have all that it takes. You just have to tap here and here.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and cue.
And I'm just curious as to what goes on in the ear.
45 seconds.
On Air Express.
Good afternoon and welcome to Bits and Bytes. With us today we have an inspiring female who took a long 16 years of break from her career and then came back roaring in the second half of her career. For the second innings, when the world asked her to slow down, she initiated her power boosters. When people around her told her, it's going to be difficult, how are you going to manage the kitchen and the kids and family? She told, like Rocky, bring it on. So at this note, I would like to welcome Nikki. She's a voiceover artist, an MC par excellence, an aspiring TV presenter, and all this while being a mum, a daughter-in-law, and a Wonder Woman. Please give a big round of applause for Nikki. So Nikki.
Thank you,
How are you
Pankaj.
doing?
Thank you for having me.
So before we begin, can we have that Rocky
Let's do
Balboa
it.
pose for you?
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So Nikki, after 16 years, is it like your kids were asking too many questions or your husband started staying more at home that you decided to venture out of the house?
No, quite the contrary. I think a large part of me going back to work actually is my husband and my kids. Husband is extremely supportive, and I wanted to set an example for the kids that you've got to fulfill your dreams. It's never too late. Learning never ends. So quite the contrary. It was a push and a nudge from them, to be honest.
Great inspiration at home.
Yeah.
So in the format of the show, what we'll do is we have 5 questions and we have a countdown to 1, wherein with each question we'll try to discover one aspect of you which is going to inspire our readers to know that how did that little girl, shy girl born in Taiwan, became the powerful powerhouse with a voice in Dubai. Okay,
Sounds
are we good with the format?
Let's do it.
Perfect. So let's do it. First of all, we have number 5, quick reactions.
Okay.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Always?
Always.
Social media or books?
Social media.
Late night parties or sleeping on time?
Sleeping on time.
On stage or off stage?
On stage.
Over prepare for an event or go spontaneous?
Over prepared for an event.
So what is it about the event that stresses you out?
As a friend, you know,
Right.
for me, it's, as I said, not being prepared stresses me out. Not having things to fall back on, a prompt, a teleprompter, those things stress me out.
Amazing. So we move on to number 4. 4 things Nikki cannot leave her house without.
I cannot leave my house without my phone. I cannot leave my house these days without my laptop. Sunscreen in Dubai is a must.
Always.
And I think recently I've added to that list having a very acceptance and a positive mindset. So I make sure I leave the house with a mindset that whatever is going to happen, you accept and kind of just take it in your stride and go with the flow.
Go with the flow. That's
Yeah.
the mantra, people. So 3 key reasons you wish to go back home after a long and exhaustive day.
It would have to be my kids, my 3 kids. They give me a surge of energy on most days. I'm an introvert, so a lot of days I go home just to get some alone time and to unwind and rejuvenate and reflect on the day. So alone time is another reason I go back home. And then, like I said, back to my husband and my best friend.
Beautiful, your best friend.
Yeah.
So apart from your husband, who are the 2 people who inspire you to be yourself?
It would have to be one of them has to be my mom. She is a bundle of confidence, and growing up, it's been contagious, and I carry that with me. I know you said apart from your husband, but again, I'm going to say it's my husband. He is another just loads of positivity. It's always about love yourself, believe in yourself. You're your own competition. So it has to be my mom and my husband.
While you've already given me the answer for the number one question already, one key message you wish to share with our female viewers who are looking at you with an inspiration to be that do these three things or do this so that you can move ahead in life and look for your second innings?
I think it would have to be take the first step. I was nervous after so many years to do something, and for me it was a class. That was my first step. And literally one thing led to another. So that one piece of advice to women who want to go back to work, taking a break, is take that first step.
So take that first step. That's the key message from here on. And until next time, when we catch up next week with an amazing guest, she's the founder of this page, Dubai On Demand. Log in for the next time, and you can catch our details of our social on Instagram and in the captions of this video. My name is Pankaj, and thank you for logging in.
Very excited, tiny bit scared. It will be life-changing, I think.
Energy is everything today. We all in this room. Energy, we attract each other. It's not a coincidence, it's a destiny.
Not me as a business owner, but just my time to grow, and that's why I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
I do want to learn more skills in terms of public speaking.
Everybody has something, and you can pick yourself up and keep going.
And we have all that it takes. We just have to tap here and here.
Five, four, three, two, one, and cue.
And I'm just curious as to what goes on in the air.
45 seconds.
On Air Express.
Hello everyone, welcome to Press Start with me, Guild MM. I finally got my own show, somehow, some way. I've managed to get my own show here. So I'd like to take this opportunity, since we've got this opportunity right now, hopefully it gets picked up, we'll see. But here at Press Start, you guys have been asking me for weeks now. It's been announced 2 weeks ago. There's this gaming visa going on. What's going on? I have a gaming visa that I can apply for. Yes, this is actually happening. So today we're going to be talking about the gaming visa. And what is this gaming visa? For those who don't know, gaming has been taking off a lot. As you can see, I'm a gamer myself. And the gaming visa was an initiative that Dubai announced 2 weeks ago, where if you're a creative talent, content, or tech, if you're in any of those three relations, you can actually apply for this gaming visa. Now, who is eligible for this gaming visa? This gaming visa, similar to any visa process, you'll have to apply with the right documents, of course. That includes passports, legal documents, and all of that. But now in relation to gaming, if you are an influencer, so if you've already been doing contributions to the gaming space, you have a following of any sort, you can actually be eligible to apply. Now, it's not only open, as I mentioned, to influencers, because there's talent, content, and tech. That also does include if you're a programmer, if you're a developer, if you're an entrepreneur, or if you're a tech company in the gaming business. So that means all that scope of the gaming industry is sort of covered to apply for the gaming visa. Now, it is a case-by-case scenario, so when you apply, you will have to go and list your actual gaming contributions and what is it that you actually do for this application. Now, one other thing here is who is eligible, right? These are the people who are eligible, but what is the age requirement? The age requirement, you do need to be a minimum of 25 years old to apply. So minimum age of 25 and over, you can actually apply and go ahead here. Now, this is all part of Dubai's initiative to create and to push gaming as a forefront scene in the gaming industry. As it's picking up in the world, why not here in the UAE? Now, where do you apply? Well, it's very easy, guys. I actually was at the Dubai Future Foundation, and they actually have a website called Dubai Gaming Initiative website. You could just go to this link, dubaigaming.gov.ae. Now, this website will actually give updates when to actually start applying, as this has just been recently announced. So you will have to go on the website to check out for updates. So keep it on your bookmark so that you actually can know when it ends up getting released. So on the website, there's even information about creative talents and just what other scope of creative talent you can apply for the gaming visa. The other thing is the duration. Now, I've seen people report this might be the same like the golden visa where it's a 10-year visa. Right now, from what I understand, I have not seen any information on the website that actually lists how long. And in fact, if you are a creative talent, it might be a case by case on how many years this visa applies. So again, keep a lookout on the website. Now, you guys have been, going crazy about this gaming visa and all of that, but why is this even happening? This is happening because it is part of the Dubai Program for Gaming Initiative, an initiative that Dubai announced in November by His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. This is an initiative where they're going to create and bring 30,000 jobs to the gaming industry in the next 10 years and have the gaming sector contribute $1 billion GDP extra to the Dubai industry. So it's not a good time to not be involved in gaming. So I will tell you this, if you're a gamer, get involved. Now, look, listen, I could go on about this forever. Issue is here, we're a little bit short-pressed on time here, but I'm on the internet and stuff. I'm Guild MM. I'll be live tonight on twitch.tv/GuildMM, 9 p.m. Gulf Standard Time. So if you want to discuss, you have any more questions, you want to actually have a conversation about this, until the show gets a bigger budget, come follow me on Twitch. I'm on the internet and stuff. Twitch.tv/GuildMM. We'll see you then. And until then, gamers, I'll see you when I see you. Take care.
Very excited, tiny bit scared. It will be life-changing, I think.
Energy is everything today. We all in this room. Energy, we attract each other. It's not a coincidence, it's a destiny.
Not me as a business owner, but just my time to grow, and that's why I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
I do want to learn more skills in terms of public speaking.
Everybody has something, and you can pick yourself up and keep going.
And we have all that it takes. We just have to tap here and here.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and cue.
And I'm just curious as to what goes on in the air.
45 seconds.
On Air Express.
I'm Elaine Wolfenden, and Power in Person is my chance to delve into the lives of individuals and find out what power means to them. Is it a good thing? Is it something that they use in their daily lives? Is it maybe even a dirty word? Who knows? Today, I'm going to be talking to Kim Thompson. She's founder of Raw Coffee Company and Roastery. It was the first roastery in the region, and they're now internationally known within the circuit. So let's dive straight in. Kim.
Hi, Elaine.
What is power to you in your working mode?
I love power.
I want control. So it's very important, I think. And the responsibility I feel is to take it to the farmer at origin, to the team I work with, and also to our customers. So it's creating relationships and building a foundation for trust. That's what power means to me.
That's fantastic, and that's actually a very nice description of power, because I think a lot of people are a bit wary of power. I know you quite well. I can remember you from the days when you were working at a sailing club, when women were really just stepping into roles here, into the business world, as Dubai has begun to evolve. And you were making cups of coffee at a sailing club, and now you've grown and you've grown. So, you know, I might think as the layman, oh, powerful. Is she a powerful lady? So how do the coffee roasters, you know, going down to source, how do they feel about you? Do they see you as a powerful person?
I think they see me as a authentic person who
That's good.
they can trust, and things that are most important to them is that we pay them on time, that we understand their challenges, and we try and find solutions that might involve pre-committing money to help them process the coffee before the shipment is ready, things that just make their life a lot easier. We know that if we have a good relationship and trust, we're going to get the really good coffee as well. So it's good for both of us.
So does that work all the way through your business, and your business ideas of this power is used in quite a gentle way, isn't it? Really right the way down, as you're saying.
I think there is the desire to create a reputation that shows that we are consistent, that we have the quality, and that we can be trusted. So it's purely about trust and building relationships, and then the rest follows. And we actually we fail some customers because they don't have the same values as us, so we don't want to work with them.
Okay, well, that's a power in itself, being you know, so definite about that. What about then in your relationships? What about family and home? I know that you have 3 very feisty girls, 5 grandchildren.
Yes.
So do they see you as a powerful person?
I think they see me as a matriarch, which, you know, in a lot of societies, the older women are looked upon as having the knowledge and the experience. Do they see me as a powerful person? Maybe not.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think they do.
You don't use power over them, as a lot of people see that as doing something over somebody, to, I suppose, to control. Yeah, so you don't use that to control. Your power is used in a much better way, isn't it?
And I think, you know, as you get older, you learn to listen a little bit more. And maybe there's times that when I was younger, I might have given my opinion very quickly. Now I know to take my time, be a bit slower, listen. And there are some times when they just need me to listen. I don't need to give them an opinion.
So what have you learnt along the way? Over how many years has it taken you to get to here, to feel like a powerful, strong woman? How many years has it taken you? Has it built up, or have you always been in that mode?
No, it's definitely built up.
Okay.
Through experiences, through mistakes I've made so that I don't repeat them. I think there is something beautiful about, you know, I'm 61, becoming this age and having faith in my opinions and knowing what I'm prepared to spend my time on and not spend my time on, you know, and then translating that into the business and the balance that you have in life. I think you learn to do that as you get older.
Yeah, well, welcome to the club. I'm in that one as well.
Exactly.
And I think that's great. And I think that people have different ideas of what power is. And so how are you going to use it moving into the future?
I'm excited about finding some other things that I can mentor and feel purpose from, using the experience I've gained through my time with Raw. I think growing and moving into other regions, we're looking at that as well. And I think there's a confidence that comes from that.
Well, I think that's fantastic. Lovely to speak to you today. Next time I see you, I think I'm going to be having a cup of coffee at Raw Roastery, and let's see how much power it can bring to me. And don't forget, you can follow me on my Instagram at Elaine Wolfenden Media.
Very excited, tiny bit scared. It will be life-changing, I think.
Energy is everything today. We all in this room. Energy, we attract each other. It's not a coincidence, it's a destiny.
Not me as a business owner, but just my time to grow, and that's why I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
I do want to learn more skills in terms of public speaking.
Everybody has something, and you can pick yourself up and keep going.
And we have all that it takes. We just have to tap here and here.
Five, four, three, two, one, and cue.
And I'm just curious as to what goes on in the air.
45 seconds.
On Air Express.
What inspires someone to lead a successful business, climb mountains, and yet still find the time for family, friends, and spirituality? Welcome to Inner Horizons, where we delve into the heart and soul of human experiences, where we discover those defining moments and really dig deep into the experiences of individuals. Today, I'm extremely excited to introduce to you someone who's my partner in every sense, my husband for 16 years, the father of our 3 wonderful children, and my best friend. As a managing director of a successful family business, he has mastered the art of balancing family and his practice, his spiritual practice. It gives me great joy to introduce you today to my husband, Satyam, who is a mountain climbing enthusiast. He has summited 2 mountains and recently trekked Everest Base Camp with our 2 boys, aged 14 and 12. When he's not at home or at work, you will find him at the gym, lifting weights or dominating the paddle tennis courts. Welcome, Satyam.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me, and pleasure to be here.
I know it's a Sunday, and I know you would have loved to be at home with the kids and with your mom who's visiting, and you would have loved to have lunch with her, Sunday lunch, and you did what you do best. You kind of moved things around and found a way to make all of us, be there for all of us. And on that note, speaking of mom and dad, my first question to you today is, what are the qualities that you've inherited from mom and dad that have really shaped the person that you are today?
So I think there are quite a few qualities. Firstly, I think it's hard work, discipline, focus, concentration, and also learning from your mistakes. I think every human being, every person, in every circumstance, especially new, we all make mistakes, but to be able to reflect and to learn from them, dissect them, and improve it, face it again and improve it. I think these are qualities which I think I've learned from my parents and from the environment surrounding.
There's another aspect of you that I'm always blown away by, even as your wife for 16 years, every day I'm blown away by, is the way you balance your life. People ask women, and they direct this question to women, is it possible to have it all? You embody a man who has mastered the art of balance and managed so many aspects of your life so beautifully. What I want to know, and what our listeners want to know, is what's your secret?
So I think, first of all, I don't think I've mastered it all. I think I'm a student. I think there's so many areas in whatever regularly I do, I think I still need to master. There's a lot of improvement to be done. But I mean, I think the balancing act comes because I think I focus on, like you mentioned earlier, my physical attributes, for example, the gym, some sport, some social activity. Then, of course, in business, it's about money, it's about finance. And finally, I mean, I think we have a pretty decent social life as well. So I think that keeps us balanced in that sense. And like you mentioned earlier, the spirituality. So I do meditate. I've been meditating for quite some time. So that I think heals and I think develops the mental strength, the soul, the food for the soul. So therefore I try to practice on that, try to raise the levels everywhere, every time, every sense I can. Yeah, I think that summarizes balance. Yeah.
What is it about the mountains that you love? And you recently did a trek even to Everest Base Camp. What is it about the mountains that you love, and why was it so important for you to have this experience with the boys?
So I love nature. I like being by myself as well. I do love the quietness of the nature. It's very different from the city. They're very real people there as well, because obviously when you're close to nature, you gain a lot of energy from Earth. But more than that, why I brought my kids for this EBC Everest Base Camp was because it was first of all, it was a challenging, high endurance climb, but also altitude. So there were extreme challenges for even normal average people. Why I brought my kids? Because I wanted them to potentially see success. I didn't know if that was the case, but bottom line, yeah, I wanted them to feel that success, feel that contentment in completing that activity.
Satyam, conversations with you can go on forever because you are a man of few words, but there's so much wisdom there. I appreciate you coming on the show. I know I don't say it enough, but we appreciate you, and I am always in awe and admiration of you. Thank you for joining us today. And to all our listeners, join us next week for another episode of Inner Horizons.
Very excited, tiny bit scared. It will be life-changing, I think.
Energy is everything today. We all in this room. Energy, we attract each other. It's not a coincidence, it's a destiny.
Not me as a business owner, but just my time to grow, and that's why I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
I do want to learn more skills in terms of public speaking.
Everybody has something, and you can pick yourself up and keep going.
And we have all that it takes. We just have to tap here and here.
I'm like, what? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and cue.
And I'm just curious as to what goes on in the air.
45 seconds.
On Air Express.
Hello and welcome to Femme Forward, this show where we talk about the incredible strength, resilience, and achievements of women all around the world. I am your host, Anissa, and I'm very excited to share this empowering journey with you. Today, I'm sitting next to a truly inspiring guest. Her name is Aylen Mila. She's an Argentinian woman living in Dubai. She has a huge platform, around 1 million followers, and she also overcame breast cancer. And that made her stronger than ever. Hi, Aylen.
Hi, Anissa. Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much. We will empower more people.
Yes.
I'm sure.
Can you start by telling us how did you become the woman you are today?
Yes, so basically I start on social media But first I started doing some TV programs in Chile and Spain. So I got people attention like I didn't expect it. And I got people attention from my outfits, from my makeup, you know, these banal things, let's say. And then I started collaborate with brands and fashion brands, beauty brands. So I was becoming bigger and bigger on social media, let's say. And this is how I start. And then we have another story. But yeah, I made a huge community, and people really trust me, and then you feel the love between your followers and you. Yes.
Yeah. And how did you feel when you first got diagnosed with breast cancer?
Yes, so I was diagnosed, and it was completely unexpected because I was very healthy. There was nothing in my family. So I was working fashion weeks, with beauty events, like all of this kind of stuff that it's common, let's say, on social media. And then suddenly I went to the doctor and it's like, oh, okay, you have cancer. What to do now? And I was like, how I'm going to do? Because I won't be able to even to work, because I work with beauty, I work with fashion. So how I'm going to do it? Because this disease, it's destroying you, like completely. The treatment, everything that you have to pass through, it's like how I'm going to manage.
All these questions, they run around your head.
Yes, it's like it will destroy your life. Even I was like, my relationship, like he won't be with me like anymore. Like you ask yourself like 100 things.
Wow. And did it change your perspective on your life and work?
Yes, I changed everything like completely. My perspective from people around me, the work. Even I changed my work because I got tired of it. I got tired of the environment. I was feeling so fake. And then I realized what is important in life, what is real. So what we have to value, it's our health and the people who is around us, people who is true to us. And yes, I changed a lot, and my perspective changed everything.
Yeah, so you really changed as a whole person.
Yes, completely.
Crazy. So
Yes.
last but not least, is there a message that you can give to other people who also are been through this same?
Yes, even to people who have been through the same or any kind of disease or any difficult times in life, I will say that life is not easy for anybody, and every time we will have something hard to go through, and we just have don't think too much about it, and we just have to go through and do our best to heal, because if it is approved to grow. So
Yeah, amazing.
we have to go through.
Thank you, Eileen, for sharing your story.
Welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
And to our listeners, thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this interview, and stay tuned for more.
Very excited, tiny bit scared. It will be life-changing, I think.
Energy is everything today. We all in this room. Energy, we attract each other. It's not a coincidence, it's a destiny.
Not me as a business owner, but just my time to grow, and that's why I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
I do want to learn more skills in terms of public speaking.
Everybody has something, and you can pick yourself up and keep going.
And we have all that it takes. We just have to tap here and here.
Whoever's going outside, please get
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and cue.
And I'm just curious as to what goes on in the air.
45 seconds. 5.
On Air Express.
Did you know that the average European has only ever visited 8 countries in their lifetime? So, on that note, welcome to Travel Your Own Journey, an informative and fun show finding those hidden gems around our fantastic planet. Today, we have a cracker to talk about with a fantastic guest. We are talking about content creation. So saying that, Rimal Houni, the CEO of TI22 Films. Thank you so much for being here today and for spending some time. My first question that I'm sure everybody would love to hear, but me especially, you are the CEO of a fantastic company. You're also a speaker. You're a TV executive producer. How did you start your journey?
Well, firstly, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here, and I've learned something new already. Apparently, the average person does eight countries, so I'm feeling good about myself right now. I think I've gone across to 8. How did I start my journey? I think it started a very long time ago, but I'm a very big believer in work experience, in internships, in learning on the ground, and from a very young age I just jumped into that work experience circuit. So I remember it from like it was yesterday. I remember being 16 years old and being an intern at NBC when they used to be based in London, and it was just that experience that made me realize that I'd spent my entire career, my entire childhood obsessed with the world of film and TV, and now was the very first time I was in a studio and I thought, wow, I could turn this into my career. And from that moment I was very obsessed. So every step after that was me seeing how do I get the next internship and the next work experience in this industry. I could tell you very long stories about it, but it is ultimately persistence and focusing on what you want and doing everything you can to knock on that door and get into the next one.
Amazing. And I'm sure you can actually put that into several different industries and in fact travel as well. Now, talking about content creation, I traveled to 65 countries now, which I'm very proud of. And during my travels, though, I've noticed that there are a huge amount of content creators and travel influencers around the world. Now, how do you, from your experience, how do you stand out from the crowd in a really crowded area?
Well, I think it's exactly what you said at the start, right? It's like, well, how do you, in your journey, you're looking for those hidden gems. So I think everyone has a very unique view on things, and I think you need to realize that there's someone out there who's going to be looking for your perspective and your journey, and it's looking for something different. You don't want to be showing the exact same monuments and the exact same museums. It's like, what is it that you've found interesting in your journey that's worth sharing? And that's why often when I'm talking about content creation, I tell people to find their niche, identify what they want to be known for, and really like double down on that, and also to embrace their knowledge, because we could go to the exact same place and have 2 very different experiences, and just coming from our nationalities and our backgrounds, different things are going to appeal to us and also resonate with a different audience. So I would say stop trying to do what everyone else is doing and carve your own journey, embrace your knowledge and put that message out there, because it's going to resonate with someone.
That's amazing. And I absolutely take on board everything you're saying. So what would you say about getting credibility? Is it about having, I'm going to have a YouTube channel, I'm going to have a Twitter account, I'm going to have, and just blasting everywhere. Is that the way to get credible?
Do you know, it's funny, I hear a lot of people give that advice, and those are the people who have massive teams that can do that. I genuinely think, who are you trying to serve? Where is your audience? And just double down on the platform where you know your audience is. For me, I know my audience is on LinkedIn, so I put a lot of effort into my LinkedIn. And you know what, if I have time, I'll do the others.
Yeah.
But do one properly and consistently where you know you're serving your audience. And if you have the time, great, start experimenting with other platforms because there are other audiences there. But if you only have to choose one, choose where your audience is.
Fantastic advice for all of us, and me especially. I'm absolutely loving it all. Now, sadly, we haven't got time to go through anything else, but I would love to talk to you more off air. So, wonderful viewers, that is the end, I'm sad to say, but thank you very much, Reem, for being here today. Make sure, guys, you go and check out your own YouTube channels or whatever now, and make sure that your content makes you stand out. And next week, we'll be talking about how to keep fit whilst you're on the road, and to leave you all with my favorite saying, follow your own journey.
Awesome, well done, great job.
Yeah. Very excited, tiny bit scared. It will be life-changing, I think.
Energy is everything today. We all in this room, energy, we attract each other. It's not a coincidence, it's a destiny.
Not me as a business owner, but just my time to grow, and that's why I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
I do want to learn more skills in terms of public speaking.
Everybody has something, and you can pick yourself up and keep going.
And we have all that it takes. You just have to tap
too.
here and here.
Toast and jam. Okay.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and cue.
And I'm just curious as to what goes on in the air.
45 seconds.
On Air Express.
Welcome to the Rehab Way, where we aim to rehabilitate you and help you achieve your. Sorry, can we restart? Okay. Welcome to the Rehab Way, where we aim to rehabilitate you and help you achieve peak efficiency in health, wealth, and all aspects of your lives. And what better way to start that than with something that has to do with your career. So with us today is Cameron Hutchinson, who happens to have 10 years of experience in the recruitment industry in Dubai. Cameron, welcome to the Rehab Way.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you very much. And I'm very excited to be talking to you today.
Thank you for joining us, Cameron. A lot of people have a lot of questions about the recruitment industry in Dubai. And what we know is that Dubai is considered to be one of the hottest markets right now for jobs and recruitment for the job market. Tell us more about the trends of the job market in Dubai right now, for both locals and expats.
For sure. So we are in what is being coined as the experience age, right?
Yeah.
And it comes after the digital age, and it is about being present. It's about being online. It's about being visible. So in your job search, you should be considering how you are coming across as a job seeker, but also as a business, you should be thinking about how you are presenting your business to would-be job seekers. It works both ways, and in a very, shall I say, in a very busy job market, which we find ourselves in. There's a lot of people migrating to Dubai. Those people need jobs. Therefore, employers have a really good choice of candidates What it means for the candidate is that they need to be better than the competition, and there's a lot of it.
You just mentioned there are a lot of people migrating to Dubai, looking for jobs in Dubai. It is a hot market, which brings us to the question that most people usually want to know. It's a very competitive market. Are there jobs for everybody?
Yes, and I hear different stories. Some news outlets saying that there's not enough jobs for the people that are coming here, but think not everybody that's coming here is a job seeker. We have businesses and business owners which are moving to Dubai as well. There are large corporations which are bringing regional hubs here. They are hiring. So the people coming to Dubai, yes, there are enough jobs for them, and look at how the city's grown over the last 53 years and how the UAE has grown. But that doesn't mean that there are jobs for every candidate regardless of their skill set. Hence, candidates need to level up and be better than their competition. But definitely there's jobs available for sure.
So I've noticed with a few people that I've spoken to lately, I think they tend to not have the right expectations when it comes to salaries. What advice would you give them in terms of where to find the right salary expectations and what to expect from their future employers?
So that's a really, really tricky one because people, and we've all been there, we think we're worth more than perhaps what we are. And it's about working with a recruiter or a headhunter that can have that frank and honest conversation with you and say, look, Rahab, you're great, but maybe in a few years, this is the level that we could get you to, or maybe after your probation, or maybe after a year, but you can't expect that from the word go. So it's about educating people. And sadly, that's easier said than done. I've been doing it for almost a decade. And still people will come to me and say, I expect X, and it's highly inflated. It's our responsibility as recruiters to just level them down. Or in some cases, level them up, because we might get an exceptional candidate that thinks they're worth less. Actually, we can get them a little bit more, which probably the employers don't want to know. So sorry, but we'll try.
Okay. This brings me to my last question. What are your 3 top tips for job hunters right now?
Be patient.
Okay.
We've just said that migration in Dubai is up, and therefore there are a lot more people looking for jobs here. So be patient for sure. Make sure that the message that you have when you're reaching out to an employer is, how shall I say, valuable, okay? And the employer is actually going to look at you and say, yes, I'm interested in you. Don't give up. Okay, you can't just expect to send one message and think, hopefully I'll hear back. Don't pepper the recruiter too much or the employer.
Yeah, I've noticed a lot of people do that.
They do, they do. But don't give up, because there is going to be a job there for you at some point. You just need to find it.
Well, thank you for coming here, Cameron. Where can people find you to learn more about the recruitment industry in Dubai?
You can definitely follow me on Instagram and use my handle, RecruiterCam, or use simply my name as LinkedIn, which is Cameron Hutchinson.
Okay, thank you for tuning in. Tune in next week also, where we'll be speaking about gut health at 2:30 p.m. every Wednesday. See you.
Thank you.
That was terrible.
It was not terrible.
It was very excited, tiny bit scared. It will be life-changing, I think.
Energy is everything today. We all in this room, energy, we attract each other. It's not a coincidence, it's a destiny.
Not me as a business owner, but just my time to grow, and that's why I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
I do want to learn more skills in terms of public speaking.
Everybody has something, and you can pick yourself up and keep going.
And we have all that it takes. We just have to tap here and here.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and cue.
And I'm just curious as to what goes on in the air.
45 seconds.
Good afternoon and welcome to This Girl Can Talk. My time and my space to talk to really admirable, amazing people doing amazing things, but also looking at what might have been a difficult time in their life, a time that they thought that they just couldn't do something amazing or couldn't get where they're going, but they really have turned things around. And today I have a guest that really fits that brief. Lindsay,
Hi.
thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for asking me.
So, you have really been through some tough times, and you are really brave to be able to talk about those times. You really fit this brief because you really did use your situation, which was very sadly at the time your youngest son's leukemia diagnosis, but you've turned that completely around. Would you be able to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, I'm very happy to talk about it. And what I would say is that our situation is no different to anybody else's situation. We're very ordinary people. Our son had a leukemia diagnosis when he was 9, and our lives fell apart. And your whole life just takes a different turn that you weren't expecting. And actually, you get so much support at first, and then later on it sort of slightly dissipates. And there's good that comes out of everything, but you do wonder what good is going to come out of this in the early days. Sorry.
Absolutely. No,
Choking.
Of course.
It's a difficult time.
Yeah, it's I guess that's the key question, isn't it? And probably one of those that is difficult, and one I found difficult when I was going through difficult patches, is people don't tend to talk about the difficult time. They talk about the aftermath and when they're doing so great. And we tend to look at people doing so well, and you don't really find out. So can you actually remember a time when it was so bad, and then that pivot moment that you thought, I've got to do something with this?
I mean, I can remember one of the things somebody else said to us whose child was almost at the end of their cancer treatment. They said, it's not the worst thing. And actually, for a while, you do think it is the worst thing. And the fact that all your friends and family are very supportive, you believe it is the worst thing. And you think, well, what could be worse than this? I can remember very vividly standing in the middle of the night listening to Ollie's monitors going and looking out of the window of the hospital and, of course, seeing a blue-lighted ambulance come in about 3 a.m. in the morning. I had no clue who was in that ambulance. I never would have found out who was in that ambulance, but I sort of thought, well, actually, he's not been hit by a car. I'm not waiting to find out whether he will wake up. He can talk to us, and he is intact. He's just got this horrible cancer diagnosis that we just have to go through the chemo for. But of course, then, in the broad light of day, it still seems as bad. And you just have to kind of get through every hour when it's tough and every day when it's relatively good. And, I sought advice from so many other people who had been through that journey.
Yeah, and that's so admirable, that human element of it, and keeping going, I guess. That's the message, isn't it? Just to keep going and keep going. And the next day is a new day, and something else is going to come, and you'll get through it. And that's the human spirit. But you really have turned this around, and we have such a short time to talk today. And that's why I hope that we can meet again to talk more about it, because you started this incredible, I guess, platform now that you've become an author, and we literally are at the end of this interview. But would you come back and talk to us about your therapy dog?
Of course I would. I mean, like every grateful parent, you want to give back. And so in the early days, you fundraise and you support the ward. But what I found was that it gave me the energy to look for something different. So I started a therapy dog program, and that's how you found me. And you want me to talk? Of course, I'd be very happy to talk on your podcast.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I'm so excited for this. You've just released the book. Well, it's been around for a while, and I'm going to put the link in the show notes so people can find it. And I would just really grateful for you coming on today. So thank you very much.
Thank you for asking.
Thank you so much for listening, and please do subscribe and come back and hear Lindsay again and hear more guests from This Girl Can Talk, sharing experience, strength, and hope, because you can keep going. No matter what's going on, just keep going. Thanks so much.
Very excited, tiny bit scared. It will be life-changing, I think.
Energy is everything today. We all in this room. Energy, we attract each other. It's not a coincidence, it's a destiny.
Not me as a business owner, but just my time to grow, and that's why I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
I do want to learn more skills in terms of public speaking.
Everybody has something, and you can pick yourself up and keep going.
And we have all that it takes. We just have to tap here and here.
Scrambled eggs, and ham.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and cue.
And I'm just curious as to what goes on in the air.
45 seconds. On Air Express.
Hello and welcome to The Pulse, where we track the heartbeat of the entertainment scene. Our show is dedicated to celebrating the dynamic world of music, film, events and comedy. I'm your host, Adam Aldous, and I'm thrilled to announce that today we are joined by a multifaceted guest who embodies the spirit of both creativity and versatility. He is a DJ, he is an MC, he is the founder of Box Entertainment and an amateur comedian. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Daryl Rees. There we go. This is where the round of applause starts. There we go.
Multifaceted does a big word for me.
Thank you for coming to our lovely studio today.
Thank you.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you here. I must inform you that you are our first guest, so you are setting the benchmark for all future guests
Great.
to come.
Can I use your intro as my Tinder profile bio?
Please do. I think that will really, really help. No, in all seriousness, I do appreciate you being here. I've had the fortunate pleasure of knowing you for the past 7 to 8 years, seeing you grow both personally and professionally. For our audience at home, could you give us a snapshot of your journey and how you broke yourself into the entertainment space?
Sure. So I started when I was 16. My dad was always a DJ, so maybe that had like a, what do you call it, unconnected inspiration. But I just kind of bought a pair of decks for the bedroom, started playing with it, and then my mum, my sister's friend, her DJ cancelled on her 21st birthday. And she's like, "Daryl, do you want to DJ?" I was like, "Yeah, why not?"
Jump
I
in.
don't have a clue how to DJ. I'm just like messing around playing buttons. Like
Yeah.
it was like a little set from like Toys R Us or something. So then I did that. Borrowed my mum's CD collection, ABBA, Queen, Michael Jackson's greatest hits, all the awful music my mum likes. Take on Me, and all that stuff. Started playing that, stop play, and then I was like, I can make a living out of this. So then that's how I went into the DJ world and started doing private parties for my friends. Started charging like £25 for a party with a couple of lights, a couple of speakers, and then just took off from there.
Incredible. Like, it's clear that obviously not only your passion for music, but also performing is a big part of your life. So what would you say then inspired you to start your own events company?
Good question. So I think because I had so many people come to me and say, "Daryl, can you DJ here? Can you DJ there?" And I just didn't have the capacity to do it. So I just thought, right, I could set up an agency here where I have other DJs looking for work, other customers looking for a DJ. If I can connect those customers to DJ, then everyone's a winner. So that's how I set up the entertainment company. And then on the side of that, we started doing speakers, lights, photo booths. So we just started adding accessories on to the whole event experience. So then the customer can benefit for the whole event.
On top of that, you're also known as a host of multiple pub quizzes.
Yeah.
You're an MC, you are a wedding celebrant on occasions, and an amateur comedian. What, considering you have all of the fulfillment through DJing and events, what draws you and what do you enjoy about the public speaking space?
It's a good question. So when I'm DJing, if I have a mic, I feel like my experience of the DJ set is much more elevated. But without a mic, I feel like I'm a little bit closed. So I like to get on the mic, speaking, and that's where I kind of diversified into the hosting. I thought, okay, so there's a connection here with speaking on the mic. So I thought, how can I use that to host other events? So I host quiz nights, like you said, wedding celebrant, any corporate events. So that's why I went into the hosting world, and now I've been doing that for like 10 years now, and yeah, I can see myself going a little bit further.
I can imagine that with DJing, with running events, with all the public speaking events that you're attending, it's quite a lot to carry on. So what have been some of the biggest challenges that you've been through?
Yeah, like you said, it's just finding the time. They say you chase two rabbits, you get none, right? So like it's just finding the balance of what I like to do and what fulfills me the most. So yeah, it's hard to manage your time. So I've got a team for the event company, so I kind of delegate the task for the team, so then I can concentrate on my what do you call it, the creative side of things as a DJ and a host.
Incredible. I really appreciate you sharing your story with us today. It's inspiring not only to see you grow, but obviously how your business is growing as well. I think for all our audience at home, please do follow both Daryl Rees and Box Entertainment across their socials. Stay tuned in with us for weekly new guests. And we will see you next week. Until next time, keep the beat alive. See you soon. I'm right at the end.
Very excited, tiny bit scared. It will be life-changing, I think.
Energy is everything today. We all in this room. Energy, we attract each other. It's not a coincidence, it's a destiny.
Not me as a business owner, but just my time to grow, and that's why I'm really looking forward to this weekend. I do want to learn more skills in terms of public speaking.
Everybody has something, and you can pick yourself up and keep going.
And we have all that it takes. We just have to tap here and here.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and cue.
And I'm just curious as to what goes on in the air.
45 seconds. On Air Express.
Hello and welcome. Did you know the average person will change jobs between 5 and 7 times during their professional career? We are in what is being coined as the experience age, and what's more important, more than ever, is that the job market is busy and you need to be visible. Having a personal brand is more important now than ever. I've spent almost a decade as a corporate recruiter, and I've come to realize that recruitment is more than just an interview. I aim to help you help yourself, delving beyond the interview and face value into the psychology of recruitment. My guest lost his job, booked the cheapest first ticket out of his home city, ended up traveling the world, and went viral not once, but twice during his professional career so far. So it gives me great pleasure to welcome
thank you.
Kevin,
Thank you very
John
much for having me.
to my show. Now, Kevin, not everybody has an opportunity to travel the world when they lose their job.
Yeah.
You did. Why?
Yeah, so it was kind of an accident, to be fair. So I always wanted to travel. The opportunity was never right. And through my career, other things get landed in your way and you take that next opportunity. And I got made redundant this particular day and was like, right, there's no better opportunity than right now to just go. So I had my little work backpack, packed 7 t-shirts, 2 pairs of shorts, only the trainers I had on, but the cheapest ticket out, which was to Carcassonne in France.
Which you'd never heard of.
Never heard of by that point. It was just the cheapest Ryanair ticket.
Yep.
Got there, and then I didn't want to come home after a few days, so I just kept booking the cheapest ticket. And as months passed, I was like, right, there's only one way home now, and it's to do a lap around the world.
To go all the way around.
All the way around, yeah.
And during your journey, you got picked up by Skyscanner.
Yeah, so that was actually after my journey. So during it, I didn't really document it other than Instagram stories. And it was when I got home and I was looking for work again, I did my first ever LinkedIn post.
Yeah.
Never wanted to do the YouTube videos, like they were just for personal, at the time it was just for me.
Yep.
And then my first LinkedIn post ever reached 300,000 people.
Incredible.
And I was like, oh, people are interested here.
People are tuning in.
Yeah, so then I made the videos, put them on YouTube, did my second post on it, which reached 8 million people. And the CEO of Skyscanner seen it because I'd mentioned I use Skyscanner to book my tickets.
Yeah.
And then from there, they wanted to do some work.
And so how many countries did you actually visit during your lap around the world?
Oh, God, I don't know, but over 20 for sure, maybe
Okay.
20, 24-ish,
Yeah, yeah.
around that mark.
And on a whim?
On
You
a
lost
whim.
your job and you
on a whim.
out the door.
And when I say on a whim, like I've slept rough on my first night in LA. In Singapore, I couldn't afford any of the hotels, so I shared a room with 10 Indian builders. It was getting the hostel rebuilt at the time. I slept on a
Wow.
beach one night, so yeah, it really was on a whim.
Now, you actually went viral twice. During my introduction, I said you went
Yeah.
viral twice. The first time was not actually when you were traveling, right? That
Yes.
was during your time at JD Sports.
Yeah, well, correct. So at JD, that wasn't necessarily, well, there's been a fair few times that have gone viral. Actually.
Okay, 2 noticeable ones I knew, sorry.
Yeah, so there's a few more. So the one at JD was actually with my friend John Farnworth, who's a football freestyler. And we started creating videos, and we did this noughts and crosses video, which was an edit. And then that one went like mega viral as well. So there's been quite a few.
There's been a few.
Yeah.
And so your suggestion for anybody wanting to build a personal brand is what?
Oh, just do it.
Yeah?
Be true to yourself. Be authentic. Because that's one thing that I think comes across when you write or you speak. If you're very honest with your opinion, people sort of trust you. So they see the good sides, they see the bad sides, and then I guess it's just a story that people can sort of resonate with.
So be authentic.
100%.
I love that,
Yeah.
and that's one of the reasons that we got in touch with each other,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Or rather, I got in touch with you off of your viral lad Bible. Now, we've got time for one more question, and I would like to know, what is your top tip for anybody dealing with bad news in the workplace? Because it does happen, right?
Well, this is sort of for dealing with everything, even if it is in the workplace or personal. I've read a lot of books, and one of the quotes that sticks with me is that every sort of negative or bad opportunity brings with it a seed of something equal or greater than what you sort of had. So I think if you keep that really positive mindset, no matter what bad thing happens in your life,
you're able to
you can
take
turn
on.
it around and go, right, I might be in a bit of a bad situation for the next
But you're able to
2
fix
months.
it.
But I know with a positive mindset, something good has to
come of
come of this.
Kevin, you have such an inspirational story, and I would love to talk more about it. However, I can't because we are out of time. I would love to welcome you back next time, where we will be talking to somebody who earned more in her first year in real estate than she did in her previous 4-year career. Tune in next time. Thank you. I think we were slightly over, but you know.
Very excited, tiny bit scared. It will be life-changing, I think.
Energy is everything today. We're all in this room. Energy, we attract each other. It's not a coincidence, it's a destiny.
Not me as a business owner, but just my time to grow, and that's why I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
I do want to learn more skills in terms of public speaking.
Everybody has something, and you can pick yourself up and keep going.
And we have all that it takes. We just have to tap here and here.
Yeah. Sorry? Banana.
Five, four, three, two, one, and cue.
And I'm just curious as to what goes on in the air.
45 seconds.
On Air Express.
Ever felt that work can be just more than a job? It can be something exciting. It can be something that you're really looking forward to. And did you know that according to Gallup statistics, there are only 15% of the employees in the world that are actually engaged? Also, stress is at its peak. Well, my name is Nora Haim, and you're watching Thriving Together. Now, get ready to explore what companies are doing and what they can do for improving employee well-being and engagement. And we are also about to change your perception of the workplace. Here today as our guest, we have Maria Paula Oliveira, known as MP. Welcome.
Hello.
And she is a senior executive. She has worked for 20 years around the globe on various positions linked to strategy, innovation, and she has this experience spanning through Brazil, Silicon Valley, Singapore. It's so exciting. And since 2017, you're here in Dubai.
Yes.
So share a bit of your experience with us today. We can start with maybe the first one tip or advice that you can give in the space of employee well-being and engagement.
Thank you so much, first of all, Nora, for the invitation to come and speak. This is a topic that's very close to my heart. As you mentioned, I've worked in Brazil, in Silicon Valley, in Singapore, and here based in Dubai. And right now I oversee operations across 81 countries. And one of the most important things that companies can take in consideration is that well-being is connected to engagement, and engagement is connected to results. So the more you promote the well-being of the employees, the more engaged they are. And the basis for well-being and for engagement is creating a space, an environment where people feel that they matter. They trust that their intention, that the companies are taking their intentions at heart, and they trust that they belong there. When people belong to an environment, they do their best work. They choose the platform, the work as a platform to execute on their mission, to self-actualize, to grow as individuals. In the industrial age, we got used to seeing people as cogs in the machine in the organization. That's why we talked about human resources. It was just a resource to get to an end. But right now, in the information age, we need to see employees on their full humanity, to see them as people who are, like you said, trying to thrive in the workplace. And when they thrive in the workplace, the business thrives.
Thank you so much for sharing this. Maybe you can also share top 3 strategies that employers can use today to improve well-being and employment.
So there are 3 things that come to mind. The first one is communication. Companies need to have open communication and need to give voice to their employees so they feel that they belong to the organization. The second thing is creating an environment of collaboration where people can grow in their professions by collaborating with one another, by helping one another. We feel our best when we're helping people. And the third thing is celebration. Not only celebrate the company's results, but celebrate individual achievements so people can understand that they matter as part of the company mission.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. There is actually studies that show that nowadays what employees really look forward is growth. They look for development, not just a paycheck. And this can be achieved through recognition and celebration.
Exactly.
So maybe I have time for one more question. What will you say if you are to give just one tip, one tip that leaders can implement, that can start with and really go on the process of growth?
I would say being intentional about designing culture. Culture is not something that we can live, just leave by itself to happen. It's not just putting a lot of people in the room and say, okay, you guys figure out. Culture is what people do when we're not looking. So we needed to be very intentional about design, about create, like I said, the environments for people to communicate, to collaborate, and to celebrate their successes.
Thank you so much for being with us here today. Thank you for watching. Let's get together. Let's unite forces to make this workspace a better one. And continue watching, continue following me up on LinkedIn for more on this. My name is Nora Heim. Thank you for being with us today.
Very excited, tiny bit scared. It will be life-changing, I think.
Energy is everything today. We all in this room. Energy, we attract each other. It's not a coincidence, it's a destiny.
Not me as a business owner, but just my time to grow, and that's why I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
I do want to learn more skills in terms of public speaking.
Everybody has something, and you can pick yourself up and keep going.
And we have all that it takes. We just have to tap here and here.
Five, four, three, two, one, and cue.
What's the first question?
And I'm just curious as to what goes on in the air.
45 seconds. On Air Express.
Welcome to the very first episode of Dream, Dare, Do Dubai. I'm Anya, and I'll be taking you on a journey about Dubai stories told by its fabulous citizens. And speaking of fabulous, we have a beautiful guest with us today, outstanding Kirsty Cooper. Thank you, Kirsty, for coming, being the very first guest.
It is my absolute pleasure to be here with you, Anya.
Let me give a little bit of a brief to our viewers. For me, you are courageous, positive, dynamic, assertive. We had a chance to work together at Superb Expo 2020 Dubai. You were holding a position of media and broadcast manager. You are a very experienced event manager, but by heart you're a traveler. Am I right?
You are absolutely correct. So any chance I get, I'm on a plane flying to some unknown place, unknown destination, and living my best life effectively. So yeah, I was very, very lucky that when I first arrived in Dubai, one of my first jobs was working for Emirates. So that kind of gave me the bug to carry on traveling.
That is a luck and a blessing.
Absolutely.
And coming back to our expo journey, what is the one memory you are fond to come back to?
The big one for me, and I'm going to try not to get emotional about it, but the big one for me was our UK National Day, when we were blessed with Prince William coming for the day. Obviously, being British and seeing royalty up close and personal was amazing. And in our Wassell Dome, to my right, I was working, I was managing the media, but to my right was Prince William. And up above me was this fantastic 360-degree projection, just surmising Great Britain. And literally, I was in floods of tears. And my heart just was so full.
Majestic.
It was.
And I was actually there on that day because I lived in UK. So it was important for me to also be part of it. And even my mom texted me from, are you there? Prince William is there. So I was also blessed to be there. And recently on my Emirates Airlines flight, I saw you on the Expo documentary. How about this?
I get everywhere. I was very blessed whilst working at Expo. I was asked to be involved in the documentary, so I was filmed for a whole day. With a microphone attached to me every day for the whole day, and a film crew following me. So during that day, I was interviewed on a couple of occasions, and I went through the filming with my crew on how an average day went. So yeah, it was just sharing my story of working in our Wassell, being a broadcaster and a media manager.
And I purely by accident found it on Emirates flight, and of course I watched it. I had to watch it. Expo, superb, freak. And you came across for me as a viewer as strong. You had an ownership of your job. You're very protective of your employees, and you looked like a TV presenter for me, a very beautiful TV presenter.
That's a dream. We're going to get there. Inshallah, we'll get there.
And after Expo, you went traveling. Where did you go?
I spent about 15 months driving around Australia. Actually saying that, I drove 3/4 of the way around. The last quarter, I was on a Greyhound bus, meeting the most fantastic, unique people.
And is there an Instagram page we can see the photos?
Absolutely, absolutely. You need to go to Oops Coops Travels.
I'm gonna go and see. And what's next for you? You're back in Dubai. What's happening?
Well, I'm exploring lots of different opportunities at the moment. I'm doing a voiceover course right now, and hopefully looking into TV presenting, which is my next dream. So yeah, I'm exploring what's available in this fantastic city of ours, which I love and have loved for nearly 20 years.
Well, thank you very much for coming and giving us this magnificent presence of yours. Sophisticated, I would go there. Thank you once again.
My pleasure.
Let's catch up in town someday.
Absolutely, cannot wait.
Thank you for watching, and tune in for the next episode where our new guests will be sharing why Dubai is the next American dream. Thank you.
Very excited, tiny bit scared. It will be life-changing, I think.
Energy is everything today. We all in this room. Energy, we attract each other. It's not a coincidence, it's a destiny.
Not me as a business owner, but just my time to grow, and that's why I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
I do want to learn more skills in terms of public speaking.
Everybody has something, and you can pick yourself up and keep going.
And we have all that it takes. We just have to tap here and here.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and cue.
and I'm just curious as to what goes on in the air.
45 seconds.
On Air Express.
Hello everyone, welcome to my show, Adventure of Lifetime. Today I have Taryn Ash here, and she has traveled in 50 countries with her children all over the world, and she has written a book called Grab Your Kids and Go. Hi Taryn, it's lovely to have you here in the studio.
Well, thank you.
Please tell us what this book about.
Grab Your Kids and Go was inspired by a trip that I took the kids on and with my husband around the world for a year. It was a very intrepid trip. It was very, very challenging, and it was very hard to organize. But
What
once
age?
they were 12 and 15. So the book is essentially about, it's a how-to, because there are a lot of families who kept saying, well, how did you do it? Well, I make it easier through this book. How do you take your kids on a trip like that where it's life-changing?
So for the whole year, how many countries have you traveled?
Well, in that particular year, that was about 15 countries on, what was it, four continents?
During this year, do you do homeschooling or they just purely travel and playing?
I did homeschooling, yeah. So that's actually my second book. The World is Your Classroom. And that is exactly, again, it's a how-to, so that because the kids did not want to give up a year. They didn't want to go back to school a year behind their classmates. So we just kept up. But we incorporated the learning into the travel, and it actually enriched the travel experience. You would have thought that it would get in the way. It was quite the contrary.
Wow. So during the trip, and what kind of tips you can give us?
Well, the first thing I want to say is do it. Because you'd be surprised how many people say, oh, I really wish I could. You were so lucky. And it was not a matter of luck.
Courage as a Chinese mom. It took me lots of courage to just off school and just go on the trip.
Absolutely. It's not exactly. And so that's not the point. The point is that it's not luck. It's about you make it happen. In incremental steps, you just work out what the problems potentially are, and you just work at them step by step. But at the end of the day, you will not, I promise you, you will not regret it.
So give us some highlight of what you learned most in this year and with the trip with the children, what they gained the most.
Well, I think that by homeschooling them on the road, it actually made all of us more conscious. We went to Zimbabwe, and the kids would do an analysis of what was going on in the culture.
So it's kind of a rough trip.
It was an extremely rough trip. It was a very rough trip, and my kids are much more resilient as a result of it, extremely accepting of different cultures, but also realizing we didn't just go to five-star hotels. We didn't go to any five-star hotels. It was all a little bit on the rough. It made them resilient, but it also made them very well, because they were always writing journals and essays on the subject. They were always extremely aware of what was happening around them. We all got so much more out of that because we homeschooled in the process.
I also heard you have living long-term in the 4 different countries. Which these 4 countries?
Well, originally from Canada, and Japan, Singapore, China, the US, and now in Dubai.
So which country you think is the most interested in?
Oh, that's so hard. All of them.
All of them.
All of them. All of
So
them.
your kids must have all this multicultural. They must be super resilient. They can adopt any kind of environment during the trip, and they can adopt any kind of culture.
That's the thing. My kids have lived all over the world, truth be told. They're third culture kids. Were they more resilient because of that? Maybe. Some people they say, oh, I would never take my 14-year-old on a trip. He or she would be so difficult. And mine were not. I don't know whether it was their nature, but I have a feeling it might be because they've lived all over the world. So they're more resilient. Yeah.
And so in the end, like what we should be aware of, like if we go on the trip with the children, and what will be the best age?
Well, I felt that the age that we chose actually was perfect. And you'll hear people say, oh, I'll take them before they go to elementary school. I'll take them when they're 5 or 6. They won't remember.
Right.
Ours were just the right age so they remember everything and they're willing to do things that are a little bit more challenging than little ones are willing to.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you going to do it? You've got a little one.
Thinking actually, she's now almost 10 years old,
Uh-huh.
and I did took her for a trip when she was 1 year old, and she doesn't remember anything for now, you know.
Right.
So yeah, I wish I knew you earlier.
Yeah, but she's 10. And, 10, 11, 12, perfect ages.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just got to try it. You won't regret it, I promise.
Well, when will be your next trip?
Oh, I think I'm going to be going to Uzbekistan next. Popular now, isn't it, in Dubai for people to want to go to Uzbekistan. It's only 3 hours away, completely different, much more natural environment, but along the Silk Road.
Would you like to write another book? It's coming up.
Gosh, I don't know. I'd love to go on another 1 year sabbatical, and yes, I would write another book. How to do it when your kids are, in their 20s.
Let us know how we follow you in the social media.
Oh, okay. You can see mybetterhalf.me, which right.
Thank you for joining us, and stay tuned for next time, Adventure of a Lifetime.
Thank you.
Very excited, tiny bit scared. It will be life-changing, I think.
Energy is everything today. We all in this room. Energy, we attract each other. It's not a coincidence, it's a destiny.
Not me as a business owner, but just my time to grow, and that's why I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
I do want to learn more skills in terms of public speaking.
Everybody has something, and you can pick yourself up and keep going.
And we have all that it takes. We just have to tap here and here.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and cue.
And I'm just curious as to what goes on in the air.
45 seconds.
On Air Express.
Hello everyone, and welcome to House of Habits, where your platform to discuss your family's well-being and more specifically your kids' well-being. Today I've invited a very special guest, Dina Butti, and that's not the way I wanted to introduce you today because our viewers already know you for the amount of years you've been on TV. But I want to introduce you as Mama Dina.
I like it, Mama D.
That's what
I'm
I'm
all
talking
for
about.
it.
So thanks for joining us, Mama Dina.
Thank you for having me.
So very special topic. Since inception, more than 200 kids committed suicide playing a very stupid challenge called the Blue Whale Challenge.
I've heard about it.
What do you know about it?
What I know about it is that kids can be incredibly vulnerable, and if they're not supervised and parents aren't involved in their lives, it's easy for them to be manipulated by very scary people out there. And I know that a lot of kids were coaxed and bullied into committing lots of acts of self-harm and eventually killing themselves. So it's horrific to read about it, and I can't believe that it's real. It's a scary world out there.
Do you know why they do this? Like the point of the game itself. Do you know what the challenge is about?
I don't. I just know that it is a challenge and that kids are bullied into it. Do you know why?
So they sell them a dream, and that's why, once again, I've invited you, because you wear different hats. You're on social media, and what they propose to these kids is a series of 50 challenges, promising them that they're going to end up becoming famous on social media. And the last challenge is to commit suicide. So I just wanted to know, how did you react the first time you heard about kids committing suicide for fame?
I don't understand how that works. They kill themselves. They're no longer around for the fame. Are they that desperate for fame that, is that what our world has turned into? They're that desperate for fame that even if they're not around to enjoy it, they'll do it?
Some of them are. I mean, 200 is a big number.
It is a shocking number. But I think more than anything, it's a reminder that as parents that our kids are vulnerable and we think we know them, but there's a really scary world out there and we need to be involved. And I think you understand this as a parent, like it's frightening. It's a whole new world of social media and the internet and strangers engaging with your kids. And I know my kids are on social media, so I worry about protecting them, but drawing boundaries and seeing what they're watching, seeing who they're speaking to, and seeing what games they're playing, and making sure you're really involved in all of those different aspects of their life.
That's right, and I believe you do it well. I see that your kids are quite active and you're very involved. Now, it's called the House of Habits. What are the habits that you have around your household to keep things in balance?
Okay, so first of all, our kids never watch YouTube unless we're sitting with them, because I think YouTube can start out seeming like there's a lot of kids shows out there that are actually quite scary and it's hard to know what's what. So if they're watching YouTube, we need to be with them. If they're playing a game, it needs to be a game that my husband has played. They cannot be talking to strangers or be online and play with any strangers. So my husband's a gamer himself, so he's very much involved. And in terms of social media, they appear, but we never use their real full names. We never talk about where we live, what school they go to, just certain private things that we're aware of. But more than anything, we have open discussions with our kids from a very young age. You don't want to scare them, but you also need to be honest with them so they protect themselves.
Yeah, that's amazing. Now, as people in the media, what do you think we should do more to raise awareness around situations like this?
I think we need to be sharing these things, and maybe I don't talk enough about what I do to protect my kids. People maybe see my kids on camera and they're like, oh, see, Dina's had her kids on camera since they were born, but they don't understand all the things I do, how long I spend photoshopping things so that you don't see what shirts they're wearing or what school they go to or what gate or what street we're on, little things like that. So maybe sharing that kind of advice, but also encouraging parents to be more involved, because I think it's really easy to put our kids in front of a screen and it's a luxury we have, but it also means that we need to understand what they're watching, when and how and with who.
That's right. Well, Dina, I wanted to end by thanking you, and more importantly, I wanted to let you know that, if this message goes across, this is going to save some lives eventually. Because you never know. You never know. There's a portion of kids that are doing it for fame, and hearing it from someone who has both worlds, the motherhood, the fame, and kids, I think you're a great reference to look at.
Oh,
so thank you so much.
That's very sweet of you. Thank you so much, Yassine. It's been a pleasure to be with you on here.
The pleasure is mine. And with that, I would like to invite our viewers, please share your stories, apply, and you never know, you might be our next guest to save some lives or do some positive impact. With that, be with us next time. Thank you.
Nice. Well done.
Very excited, tiny bit scared. It will be life-changing, I think.
Energy is everything today. We're all in this room. Energy, we attract each other. It's not a coincidence, it's a destiny.
Not me as a business owner, but just my time to grow, and that's why I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
I do want to learn more skills in terms of public speaking.
Everybody has something, and you can pick yourself up and keep going.
And we have all that it takes. We just have to tap here and here.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and cue.
And I'm just curious as to what goes on in the air.
45 seconds.
On Air Express.
Have you ever struggled to find the right doctor for you or your family? The one that maybe you don't hear about, but not the one that your friends have used or your family members have used, but the one that would really be the best fit for you personally? Well, with 30 years of healthcare experience, I'm here to help you navigate your way to the right doctor. So let me introduce you to today's guest, Dr. Michael Uglow, who's a paediatric orthopedic surgeon at the top of his game, working in Abu Dhabi, the capital city. Dr. Michael, thank you for coming today.
Thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here.
When did you arrive in the UAE and where did you come from?
I arrived in 2017 and I've been working prior to that in the UK in the University Hospital of Southampton as their consultant since 2000.
Great, thank you. Well, thank you for being here. We're glad to have you. And tell me a bit about your practice, a paediatric orthopedic surgeon. What does that mean?
Well, it's a good question. So pediatric orthopedics is dealing specifically with children who have problems with the musculoskeletal system, bones and joints. And so I operate, I see children with hip, lower limb problems mainly, joints that are dislocated from birth, problems secondary to trauma, infection, and other developmental conditions.
So when kids hurt themselves, but also, from my understanding, are you saying that some of it is not accident but related?
Absolutely. So orthopedics and trauma, we have the emergency side of the practice, and I used to do a lot of trauma, answering to the emergency department, but I take fractured patients who've got their fractures who aren't necessarily immediately after their injury.
Okay.
So reconstructive trauma is one part of what we do, but developmental conditions, either genetic or long-term results from trauma affecting growth plates, for example.
And so where do you do that? I heard that you'd opened a clinic.
I recently, indeed, I opened a new clinic in Abu Dhabi in January 2023 at the Burjeel Medical City. I partnered with an American surgeon, and so we use, he's one of the world leaders, and his brand is brought the best care. So my international expertise together with his world-leading experience gives the best of care for the patients that we've got here in the UAE.
So you have an American colleague. How does that work?
Yeah, very good. So the American teams come 3 times a year, and in between times we communicate with them, getting the best input for the decision making and managing the children. Those cases that need the complexity of somebody who is the sort of the world leader, and then the more complex severe cases will be pulled together for the visit. So we have a very intense week of surgeries and see many patients in clinic, preparation for the next visit. So that's how we roll in liaison with them.
But you work separately every other week of the year here in Abu Dhabi in the UAE.
Absolutely.
Seeing patients from the UAE and the wider region?
Yep, we have a big medical tourism practice. I am what Dr. Paley calls the boots on the ground. So I look after the patients that he operates on, but my own practice. So I'm medical director for the unit. It's absolutely my responsibility to make sure the children have the best care at all times.
And so tell us just very briefly about some of the patients. Presumably children are the same the world over. Is there anything exceptional that you've seen or done here in the UAE?
Yes, we received patients from an earthquake in Syria. We wouldn't normally have those patients in the UK, so that was a great privilege and experience to retrieve children injured in the earthquake and reconstruct them over a long period of time.
Gosh, well that must have been tough for you and your team. So working in the UAE, this is something we ask all of our doctors. What do you find is the best thing about living and working in the UAE?
Well, living, the temperature compared to the UK is significantly improvement. The patient range, very, very diverse. We have a wider range of pathologies, perhaps here, a lot of congenital concerns.
Okay, well, we'd love to have you back. Perhaps you can bring some cases in with you, and thank you very much for coming. How can your patients contact you?
Social media, at Uglo Orthopedics. Uglo is a rare surname, so easily identifiable.
Great, well, we will share that on our social media. So please like and share this and come back soon and we'll have another expert in the studio. Thank you for watching.
Very excited, tiny bit scared. It will be life-changing, I think.
Energy is everything today. We all in this room. Energy, we attract each other. It's not a coincidence, it's a destiny.
Not me as a business owner, but just my time to grow, and that's why I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
I do want to learn more skills in terms of public speaking.
Everybody has something, and you can pick yourself up and keep going.
And we have all that it takes. We just have to tap here and here.
Dance it out, dance it out, dance it out.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and cue.
She's your director.
And I'm just curious as to what goes on in the air.
45 seconds.
On Air Express.
Welcome to AI at the Top, the #1 show helping business leaders with AI transformation. I am your host, Fahad Bazari, your friend and advisor helping you along the journey. And today with me, I have an absolutely amazing guest, Reem Elhouni. Reem Elhouni is one of our favorite business leaders, and I brought her onto the show today because of 3 reasons. First of all, I know how much she loves her employees and her workforce, and I know how much they love her. And I also know that Reem loves to stay on top of trends. So without a further ado, let's meet Reem Elhouni. Reem, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. I hope they love me. You put them in quite the spot now, but thank you. I
From
appreciate
what I've
it.
seen, they absolutely love you. And this is really important because, one of the big concerns that all business leaders have at the moment is as AI becomes more relevant, in theory, the actual people become less relevant. And I know very much in your case, you are working very hard to make sure that your staff stay relevant. So far, what is your relationship with AI and AI transformation so far?
So I think we're very fortunate in a lot of ways that in the video industry, we're used to having to evolve consistently. So technology is always changing, new equipment is coming out. So we're in a space where we have to learn. And if we don't learn, we go obsolete. So for me, the way I see AI is another trend that we just have to learn and have to turn that into our workflow. We have to utilize it as much as possible to see how we can leverage it and actually benefit from it, see how we can become more efficient, see how we can save time. So I really see it as, it's just another technology that we have to familiarize ourselves with. And the sooner we do that, the more efficient we can get and the more current we can be as well.
Now, the big kind of like AI shift started November 2022 when ChatGPT kind of hit the market, right? So since then, there's been this kind of AI drive. On your side, what kind of things have you done as a result of that push?
So I think the minute it started to really become prevalent, number one was I needed to educate myself. So I signed up onto your boot camp, and for me that was the key. I need to see how I can understand it and utilize it. I think then the second thing is, how do I get my team on board? So you've come in and you've obviously trained our team as well, and we're looking at doing more in that space. But that's just ChatGPT. For us, we're in the video space. So I actually put my whole team on an AI challenge where they had to explore different AI softwares on a weekly basis to see what could we be leveraging and how. And I recently heard that there's as high as 150 new AI softwares a week, which means that we did that challenge months ago. We're already out of date, so it's one of those things where we have to keep doing that as a team. So that's really how I'm looking at incorporating it as much as possible to understand it. You can only really use what you understand.
And in front of you now, like, what kind of challenges do you see with that kind of shift? One of them, obviously, as you mentioned, is staying current with everything else. But what other challenges are you facing with that AI transformation?
I actually think that's the biggest challenge, is staying current. What we think we know or what we thought we knew a week ago isn't current anymore. It's like, oh God, there's another software and there's another new way of doing things. So I think that's one. But I think second is just mindset. I think it's shifting people's perception and understanding of, fine, you used to do things a certain way. You don't have to keep doing them that way. How do we evolve our workflow to now incorporate this new piece of software that will change how we do things going forward? And that's more a people mindset challenge than it is an AI challenge.
And what other mindset things have you also faced or come to realize also need tweaking or improving or nurturing?
I think originally the first comment I remember someone saying to me is like, "Are you afraid?" That was the first comment. And it was from a team member who said, "Is there why are we all like, should we be scared, or should we be worried about losing our jobs?" And I think it's people realizing that actually I don't believe that. I think there's a space and a room and even a higher employability for people who understand how to use AI. So, and I think that's the mindset shift, is instead of fearing it and staying away from it and thinking, no, that's a different world, embrace it and realize that's how you're going to move forward.
Now, I know you're a very vision-led person, right? And so you would have had, let's say, your vision for 2025 or 2024. How has AI now shifted that vision of yours?
I hadn't actually thought of it in that way, but I'd like to think that all it can really do is expedite it. So, it's bringing things closer, and maybe we now need to be even more ambitious and have an even bigger vision.
100%. And this is exactly what I keep telling my audience, is that you have to look at AI as this opportunity, that all those goals that you've been having for the past God knows how long, you now have an entire tool set that will allow you to achieve those goals faster than ever before, more thoroughly than ever before, more proficiently than ever before. So Reem, thank you very much for coming onto the show today. I wish the best for your company, for your team, for yourself, and I'm very confident you will achieve your goals much faster than ever before. For everybody else, this was AI at the Top, your #1 source for all things AI transformation for business leaders. Please make sure to subscribe and get behind the scenes content, and we look forward to seeing you on the next show.
Very excited, tiny bit scared. It will be life-changing, I think.
Energy is everything today. We all in this room. Energy, we attract each other. It's not a coincidence, it's a destiny.
Not me as a business owner, but just my time to grow, and that's why I'm really looking forward to this weekend.
I do want to learn more skills in terms of public speaking.
Everybody has something, and you can pick yourself up and keep going.
And we have all that it takes. We just have to tap here and here.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and cue.
and I'm just curious as to what goes on in the air.
45 seconds.